Elton John abruptly canceled his tour. No explanation. No press statement. His team refunded every ticket. And yet, no one knew why. He had performed through illness, exhaustion, heartbreak. Nothing had ever stopped him. Until now. Rumors spread. A health crisis? A family tragedy? But the truth was something else entirely. It was hiding inside an old box he had found among his things. Buried beneath yellowed papers. A letter. His own handwriting. A letter he had never sent. And now, it changed everything. Because he knew. He had to fix a mistake made long ago. And he was willing to risk everything to do it. The house he never found in time. Far from the arenas, the crowds, the blinding lights. North of London, a small house stood. Faded curtains. Peeling paint. It looked like 100 others just like it. But if Elton John had found it sooner, his life might have taken a different path. This was where she had lived. A voice from his past. Someone he hadn't heard in decades. Someone who could have changed his destiny. If only he had let her. Before the fame. Long before the tours, the records, the fortune. Elton was just a boy playing in pubs where no one listened. And beside him, always, was Sarah. She was his first supporter. They wrote music together. Created melodies no one ever heard. She believed in him even when he didn't believe in himself. She worked late nights, helping her mother at home, yet always found time to be there. Until one day, he left, chasing fame, success, recognition. No explanation. She wrote to him. He never replied. Life pulled him into studios, contracts, endless performances. He thought the past didn't matter anymore, that it had stayed behind. But he was wrong. The letter that never came. Now, the letter lay before him. Simple words. But not enough. I'm sorry. I know I disappeared. I should have written back. But if you can forgive me, write me. But he never sent it. And now, it was too late. Sarah was gone. Not just from that house. Not just from his past. She was gone forever. But her family had kept something for him. A letter. Her letter. One he had never received. And now, as he held it in his hands, everything fell into place. I waited. But you never wrote back. I'm not angry. I just want to know, are you happy? It was the last question she ever asked. And he had never answered it. Now he understood. He couldn't change the past. But he still had a chance to change the future. Once, he left because he thought it was the right thing to do. He believed that music mattered more than the past. That he needed to erase everything behind him to find himself in the future. So he cut off the people who had once been his foundation. The ordinary faces from his childhood, school, first jobs, street corners. He didn't want to feel guilty for moving forward while they stayed behind. He didn't want anyone holding him back. But what he never realized was, it wasn't the past that held him back. It was himself. He hadn't run from people. He had run from responsibility. The people from his past. The ones who shared his hungry childhood. They weren't anchors. They were his foundation. They had made him the man he was today. And now, standing in the wreckage of time, he understood. But it was too late to fix it. So Elton John made a choice. He couldn't turn back time. But he could help the ones he had left behind. He began searching for everyone he had lost along the way. The faces from the days before fame. Musicians who had once played beside him but never got their break. Friends whose voices never reached the big stage. Neighbors who had been part of his childhood. Family members he had abandoned, never inviting them to his weddings. Even the bullies who once mocked him. He remembered them all. And one by one, they all started receiving unexpected gifts. Some were priceless. Some were deeply personal. And some were tied to the brightest moments of their lives. His first vocal coach woke up to find a truck filled with white roses, her favorite. The schoolyard troublemaker who always teased him received a pair of boxing gloves, signed by Joe Frazier. If we were in the ring right now, you'd get what's coming to you, he used to joke. Now, he finally had the gloves to match his words. And the childhood friend who used to give Elton a ride to school every morning on the back of an old bicycle? A brand new Jaguar. With every gift came a letter. One word. Thank you. This was his answer to the question Sarah had asked all those years ago. Are you happy? Now he knew. Happiness isn't in forgetting the past. It's in shaping the future.